Welcome to Mix Protege. I'm Dana Nielsen, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I make a tempo map for a song that was recorded without a click. This is a singer-songwriter session, acoustic guitar and vocals, and I've summed everything down into these two stems to make things easy. I have a tracking session tomorrow on this song and several others, and realized that this one was done without a click. It's what felt most natural in the session. But tomorrow we'll be recording drums and bass and other elements. And I realized that to play to this track here, those musicians are going to need some sort of click to guide them along through the performer's, the singer-songwriter's natural ebb and flow of her performance. So this comes up often. It's a great way to maintain the integrity and the vibe and the flow of the performer's performance while still providing a click reference for other musicians to use when overdubbing. So let's get into it. The first thing I like to do is figure out a baseline tempo. And in this song, we can do that by listening to this intro. It's a guitar intro. Check it out. Here's our tempo. And that's a great intro there. And I noticed that this transient right here, we're going to be using a lot of transients, the little peaks in the guitar performance, the accents. This is where that loop starts over again. So if I put a little marker here, just for demonstration purposes, we can see that the song starts here. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, right? So what I'm going to do is, I can't foresee the drums and bass and things coming in right off the top, but let's say that they did. What I like to do is switch into slip mode, and I'm going to just like make a cut here, right? And I'm also going to make a cut right at the beginning strum. That's great. We can also blow up these waveforms if we need to. So let's say this is our 2-bar loop or 4-bar loop. In fact, I'm going to turn on loop recording, which I can right-click here. On a numeric keypad, I can also hit the 4 button. So what I'm going to do now is play this loop back and see how it feels, how it loops around. A little bit of a lag. What we can do is, for these purposes, I'm going to just, you know how the guitar goes like brum dum ba dum dum ba dum. So we really just want not this sort of pre-strum here, but really where the accent, where the beat falls right here. So let's try that. So it sounds funny to play from right there, but when it loops around, we'll see. I love it. Went right by. That's great. So that is an excellent loop from which we can get a baseline tempo. And what I like to do is duplicate this backwards. Duplicating it backwards is going to give us a couple of bars before the song starts. So I think it's always good to establish the tempo before the actual bar 1, beat 1 of the song. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to use one of my favorite key commands, Control-Option-Command with the grabber. And watch what this does. Boop. It's going to take this region boundary and duplicate it in reverse. I love it. So what we can do now, we know this is our bar 1 or bar minus 1 or 2. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay, so this is a 4-bar thing. This whole thing is going to be using these tempo markers. And we can also establish that this cut right here is bar 1, beat 1. Check this out. Let's grab this. We know this is 4 bars, right? I'm going to do Apple I from the event menu. I'll show you where that's at. Identify beat. This is the first thing you do, right? And we'll call this bar 396, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means the ending is going to be bar 400. So if we zoom in, we can see that our tempo marker here, it's going to give us a little readout, 108.1931. And if we go ahead and make a click track, we can kind of audition this. Let's hear it. It's great, right? So we know that that's the tempo of the opening 4 bars. And it's going to continue on like that because this is a duplicate of this. Now we can switch into grid mode and 400. Let's make this a little easier on ourselves and go to the event menu and do renumber bars. And let's say bar 400 becomes bar 1. Now that's much easier. And we can see up here in our, as long as we have bars and beats as our main ruler, we'll see now this reads as bar -3, and it's going to count down to -2, -1, and 0, and here comes bar 1, beat 1. So all of that work we just did right there is really so that we can mute that or even delete it, trim this back out to how it was, and now we've got some runway so that we can say, all right, drummer and bassist, we've got, I'm going to give you 2 bars of click up front, and then you're going to come in, and it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Right? So that way there's some open space in front. It's really important to establish the tempo that happens over here earlier so that you have a bit of this open area for some count-in, stuff like that. Now that we got that sorted, the rest of it is pretty easy. I'll show you what I mean. So we've done this identify beat. We've got our initial tempo of 108.1931. And now all we're going to do is just listen to the click and identify when it goes off, when the guitar and the click become not matched up. And then we're going to use identify beat to drop little markers to say, no. This transient, this spike right here on the guitar, that's a beat 3, or like this is a beat 1 right here. And it's going to very quickly line right up. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to listen. I'll just mute the vocal for now because we can really get all the info we need from the guitar track. Already, right? It's already moving around. So let's just find where it goes off the rails. Right away, and that's fine. So I'm going to move into slip mode, which I always do with the tilde key. If you watch up in the upper left corner here, tilde, tilde, that goes to slip, tilde, tilde goes to grid. So I'm constantly just tapping to slip, tapping to grid. You could, of course, use the mouse, but it takes too long. So what I'm going to do here, so right away on that second bar, we've already started to move away, and you can definitely turn on this little tab to transient button, and that can be really handy to just drop your cursor before, hit the tab key, and it's going to get you right there. And I'm always using my ears more than my eyes for this stuff. The eyes kind of point you to where it goes, but again, with a guitar, there's a lot of like pre-strumming before the actual there's the downbeat, at the end. But this looks and sounds pretty good. So now all I'm going to do is hit that identify beat again, Apple I. So all we're going to do is tell Pro Tools that no, this waveform right here, it's not bar 6, beat 1, sub beat 46. It's just bar 6. And all you have to do is type 6, and you'll see that it clears everything else out. It's waiting for new numbers, but all we need to do is hit 6, enter. And you'll see all these grid lines shift to accommodate. We've got this new little triangle in our tempo lane up here. And I can also see that kind of messed with some stuff over here. So I'm going to undo that real quick. And let's make sure we're still, that's all great. Oh yeah. Right, okay. So sometimes I'll tilde over to grid and just put an identify beat right on 5. Like I'll use the grid to just reestablish we're good up to there, right? And that's going to become kind of an anchor point for the next move. And if it's been chugging along with the click for a while, I don't want to like 8 bars later be like, I got off there and put a little identify beat thing, because it's going to mess with everything that came before it. So I like to drop little anchors as things progress through the song and check out. Like it's all been good up to here for several bars, and now I hear something getting weird, so I'll back up and put a little identify beat anchor point there, just to preserve what happened before. So here, and I promise we'll get moving faster shortly, I'm going to tilde over to slip, and right there is a beat 4, and you'll see this pop up. And instead of clicking into 4, which we could do, I just use that right arrow, boop, and then I hit 4, and you'll see it's going to zero out the rest. So little subtle shifts like this. Yeah, so it gets away. So we might end up doing a bunch of these. Apple I, that's a downbeat at 7. And you'll see there. Okay, now it gets away. So that we had a good run there. Everything had been good. There it starts getting a little haywire. So I'm just going to put an Apple I, call it bar 11. And now, you know, this is a little early. What I'll end up doing a lot in a syncopated strumming pattern like this is just kind of find where the downbeats are. Downbeats and quarter notes. Those are the easiest to finagle. So this little and a 2 is going to be hard to type in to the identify beat, but this lands on beat 4 every time. 2, 3, 4, 1. So the 4s and the 1s are going to become really helpful. So I'm just going to arrow over to make that 3 a 4, and it's going to zero out the rest. Yeah, that's not really helpful. Let's just move on to this 1, 11. So this says, because it's before the beat, this says 11, 4, 8:30. I'm just going to do 12, okay, because this is the very end of bar 11. But we're going to say, no, this is actually the beginning of bar 12. And there again on the downbeat. Same thing, we're going to say, no, this is actually 13. Maybe I'll see if I move over here, call this 15, it might straighten out the 2 bars here. Okay. Again, Apple I. This is the end of bar 16, but it's actually bar 17. And you'll see I've made this change, and I see a bunch of, because we can see these bar and beat lines here, I saw a bunch change. So I'm just going to kind of back up a few bars and make sure I didn't mess something up earlier. Yeah, there's some squirrely stuff in there that could be fixed up in editing. But for now, I'm just going to I haven't ever noticed an issue in the track there when I listen without a click. So I don't want to go crazy editing the audio because it's never felt wrong. So I'm going to see if I can just make a click work through this position, through this section of the song. You can also kind of monitor up here. You can see all the tempo readouts up here, 105. So it's like 109, 106, 105, 108, 104. Those are some big changes, 108 to 104. And we'll smooth it out. So let's, I just wanted to point that out. Let's call this beat 4. Let's use this 4. Yeah, this is a tedious one. Okay, I'm falling apart. Let's call this 4. Made a pretty good run there. And you can see against the bar lines that some of this stuff looks wrong, looks ahead of the beat. And it is, but if it doesn't sound wrong in your ears against the click, there's no sense driving yourself crazy trying to make things look right, you know? No one's going to be looking at this music. We really just want to make it sound right for anybody who's playing along. So that's really all that matters. So I try not to get hung up when things like this here, where it looks wrong. Well, I can see it's before this little grid marker. It doesn't matter. It doesn't sound wrong to me. But then it starts to get really crazy. So what we're going to do is figure out where it's good before it goes off the rails and put another anchor point there. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm just going to use, I guess we'll use the bar, put this right on the money, call this 29. And that's going to allow us to call this 30. So we fell apart, but it was great up to here. So again, I'm going to do Apple I, say yes, that is bar 40. And now we're going to start massaging things. Yeah. All right, let's call that 4. Okay. But then this gets a little late and it throws everything off. Okay, so we'll call this 41. Wow. Call this beat 4. This beat 1. So it gets a little squirrely here. $42. Yeah, a little speed up here. Might as well call this 4. So we're really getting through some funny business here. Okay. getting out of it. 44. Yeah, and then this 4 is off. Beat 4. Okay, that's good. We're going to put a marker right on 4 and say, yes, that is bar 48, beat 4. But then here gets a little late. We'll call this 49. Yeah. But that's cool. That's what this stuff is for. We're just mapping what was performed. Yeah. Call this beat 4. This will be, whoops, beat with 50, which was it? 52. Some of these bars have a lot of internal struggle, and so they require a few more anchor points, but like this is beat 4. But you'll find that people will find their rhythm. We get, if we zoom out, it's like, yeah, little struggles here, but then it's really on a great roll here. Click follows, really in a pocket. And then there's a couple little squirrely bits, and then we're good for a while, and then a couple squirrely bits. And yeah. Call this 57. Okay, running away a little bit. 58. Okay. So I'm always reading the number that pops up. Is it 60? Is it? I'll show you what I mean. Okay, right there. So here, this should be a beat 4. Those are easy, and you can kind of read 62, 62, beat 4, 035. Well, we know that's just supposed to be a plain old 4. But let's say here, you know, if we wanted to make that the downbeat, I'm always looking like, is it 63 or is it 64? Oh, it's 63 beat 1 and 98, you know, sub beats or whatever. So that's going to just be a 63. But obviously that was put in the wrong spot. So good run here. Whoop, spoke too soon. So I might drop a little anchor there. 2. Oh, that's our little syncopation. Let's do it on the downbeat. Apple I, 68. Yeah, right there on that beat 4. Let's call that 4. Same thing here. Beat 4. Yeah, getting a little ahead. Here's another beat 4. call that 75. There's our beat 4. It's a little late. Not no mo. Yeah, a little slow down there. So we'll just identify this as beat 4 and this late beat 1, 77. Right, so here we got a little, this is the great thing about performing not to a click, is you can really slow down in sections, speed up in sections. And if she had performed this to a click, you couldn't have those emotional subtleties. It would all be forced onto this grid. This is a lot of work chasing this and recreating this map, but it's what allows for a nicer, more natural performance for the artist. And this is just a little bit of extra work to prepare for additional overdubs. But this is cool because this now is bar 78. Mm-hmm. 80. 81. 82, or oh shoot, what was this one? Yeah, 82. Ah. Bar beat 4. That's a tricky one. Let's see if we can do one of these sub beats. What is that, a 480? Tricky. Beat 4. Downbeat. 85. And, you know, another thing I like to do when I'm doing this type of stuff is to put on a bit of a pre-roll so that every time I hit play, I'm hearing maybe a bar or so before. So if I hold Option and click a bar earlier, you'll see that pop up here. And I also want post-roll as always. And if you watch my videos before, you know, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, I always hit all 4s in there. I always want tons of pre-roll, or post-roll, that is. Okay, but Command K will toggle off and on pre-roll and post-roll. I do toggle that off a lot if I'm checking my playhead. Like there's a lot of before the actual beat 4. So there we go. Okay. Beat 4. Maybe I should chase after some of this. Call this a beat 4. This will be bar 90. Beat 4. Okay. This beat 4 felt good, but then the downbeat feels rushed. So we'll call this bar 94. And then let's throw on our pre-roll. Yeah. I'm going to straighten out this. And I think we're going to have to redo some of these. Yes. Tricky section. So I'm going to drop a marker on the grid here at 92, 480, just so I can give a little space for this late 4. And some of this stuff I might fix up editing later, but I don't want to do it now because I want... It's never felt wrong to me listening without the click, so I don't want to let the click force me into some sort of roboticized version. Same thing as here. I'm going to do a marker on the grid here. Yeah. Pre-roll off. Call this 92. And I think in this section we're going to have to just do a bunch of little tempo anchors. Mm-hmm. To 480. Bar 95. Ooh, that really gets crazy. But that'll fix it. That's bar 100. Hey! Call that beat 4. That's a downbeat, 103. That's good enough. So we made it. Now I'm going to do a little spot check. And maybe I'll put the vocal back in for fun. Here's a little count off. 3 and...
I'm in the bathroom. Makeup still on, it's noon. I don't know the truth.
Put the click up to drummer listening level.
All I know is it happened with you, but something wasn't near you. Took my hand, I'm scared to jump.
A little funny right there.
It happened with you, but something wasn't near you. Took my
there. Gets a little funny.
Near you, took my
I bet it's this.
Near you, took my hand, I'm scared took my near you. Wasn't near you, took my
What is happening there?
something.
Maybe it started here. One of the cool things is you can grab these little anchors and just move them around a little bit to see if it helps. And you can also kind of look at what's around. When I move this, it changes everything to the left and the right up to the next anchor point. So
With you, but something wasn't near you, took mine, and I'm scared to change.
So with a broader view, we see we've got an anchor point here and one here. And let's keep an eye on what happens to the grid overlay to the left and to the right when I move this one. So you can see it messes with the stuff inside of this zone, but it doesn't mess with here or here. So it's a nice way to like make some little adjustments, look at how things line up to the left and the right without having to like re-identify beat. Just little massages.
But
Still doesn't sound very
with
good.
you, but something wasn't near you, took
It's okay.
with you, but something wasn't near you, took my hand, I'm scared to jump and fall. They say, don't you dare, you know he's nothing but bad news, but I don't care, 'cause
I feel that tempo change there.
they say, don't you dare, you know he's nothing but bad news, but I don't care.
What if we fudge this so we know we're going the wrong way?
Don't you dare, you know he's nothing but bad news, but I
Terrible. What are you doing, Dana?
say, don't you dare, you know he's nothing but bad news, but I
I think maybe we need something here.
bad news.
A downbeat. 19.
Say, don't you dare, you know he's nothing.
And
They say, don't you dare, you know he's nothing but bad news, but I don't care, 'cause no, he's nothing but bad news, but I don't care, 'cause don't they know it? No, he's nothing but bad news, but I don't care, 'cause don't they know what they're gonna find? It's all excitement. No, he's nothing but bad news, but I don't care, 'cause don't they know what they're gonna find? It's all excitement for a night. Take a look into those green eyes and tell me you can't love him, 'cause it's just an endless game. Does he love me, hate me, or end game? They'll try to call us insane, 'cause that's the night we ran to each other.
this could get a little
Each
better.
other.
I guess it's a discrepancy on beat 4 and then catching up to 1.
To each other. I'm left with bad.
Yeah, and then we just need a new 4 here, and then, yeah, that catches us in.
I'm left with bad news. Put my empty feelings in a box, 'cause that's just the sad truth. I'm just the sad truth. I'm happy running off and
Yeah, it gets a little funny here. So let's put a little anchor here and identify beat, because here now things go a little screwy. This will be a beat 4.
Running off and getting lost. So
I'm going to turn our pre-roll back on.
I'm happy running off and getting lost. Something.
Here's a 4.
Running lost. Running off and getting lost. Something wasn't near you. Took my hand out.
This, yeah, definitely would be great to tighten up the actual performance.
I'm happy.
But
I'm happy running off and getting lost. Something wasn't near you. Took my hand. Now I'm scared to jump in the fall.
yeah.
They say, don't you dare you. No, he's nothing but bad news. But I
We'll jump the gun here.
don't you dare you. No, he's nothing.
Yeah. This will be the new 45.
No, he's nothing but bad news. But I don't care. 'Cause don't they know what they're gonna find? It's all excitement for a night. Take a look into those green eyes and tell me you can't love him. 'Cause it's just an endless game. Does he love me, hate me, orient game? They'll try to call us insane. 'Cause that's the night we ran to each other.
This could be bad. Yeah. Call this beat 4. And then this is kind of a jump the gun beat 1. 60.
To each other. First you took my hand and said we have this dance. That was the night I found true.
Yeah, I'm just going to drop some anchors in here.
First you
65.
and it said we have this dance. That was the night I found true.
Because there's a little bit of squirreliness here. 66.
First you took my hand and said we have this dance. That was the night I found true romance. Nothing about who is who, just two strangers without a clue of where the night might take you. Cause don't they know what they're gonna find? It's all excitement for a night. Take a look into those green eyes and tell me you can't love him. Cause it's just an endless game. Does he love me, hate me, orient game? They'll try to call us insane. Cause that's the night. Don't they know what they're gonna find? It's all excitement for a night. Take a look into those green eyes and tell me you can't love him. Cause it's just an endless game. Does he love me, hate me, orient game? They'll try to him. Cause it's just an endless game. Does he love me, hate me, orient game?
Gets a little funny there.
Does he love me, hate me, orient game? They'll try. Does he love me? Does he love me, hate me, orient game? They'll try to call us insane. It's an endless game. Does he love me, hate me, orient game? They'll try to call us insane. Cause that's the night we ran to each other.
Oh, a little funny.
We ran to each other. We ran to each other.
This all feels too fast.
To each other. To each other.
then here at the end, for a ring out like that, I like to just do some automation on the click.
To each other.
That way we won't get any like click bleed from the drummer is going to be listening to the click so loud. And if we have the click running through that tail, chances are we'll hear the bleed from the drummer's headphones into the overheads, and it'll be kind of a mess to clean up later. So yeah, just do a little automation there, and then the click goes away. I think we have done it. That is how we put a tempo map together for an organic, non-clicked performance by an artist. In this case, the artist is Zelda, and really excited to add more to this track tomorrow with drums and bass and who knows what else. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the Mix Protege community soon. Bye.